Typically, when the homeowner calls in, they are initially, my basement's flooded. What do I do? Okay, not an ideal situation for any homeowner, but you've called the right people. We know what to do in that instance, and we'll get the right people there. So talking them through, what they can do initially on their own until we get there, and then also what we're going to do once we do arrive and help them, especially through an insurance claim, helping them contact their adjuster, getting things taken care of for them so that they have as little as possible to deal with on their own.
Unless you know someone that's had a loss before, a lot of times, like when something happens like this, you're not like, oh, I'll call first response. Like, that's not how the thought process works. It's, the fire department at this point is trying to help you with information. And at this point, for at least most of St. Joe County, Elkhart County, we are the premier board up. So that's kind of how they first introduce us, is we're coming at this point when it's truly at the time of the loss, to secure the home for them. And then at that point, they've at least heard our name. And then it's up to, this point, the agent or the adjuster to kind of guide them.
So with the water mitigation side of things and the board ups, I like working in that department because we are kind of the heroes. We get that first initial dispatch. You've got an immediate need right now. You need someone at your home to clean up the water, and I've got technicians that can do that. So I give them a call, they get out to your home right away, and things start happening right away.
Yeah, they're looking around and they're going, how do I clean this? How do I put this back? And my job is to walk in and say, you don't have to. We do. We're a full-service company. We do everything except textiles, but we have companies we work with for the textiles. I have a folder called a Loss Resource Guide. And so when I first meet somebody, I set that down and I say, this is us. And I open it up and I go through it. And there's a section that talks about us, what our skill sets are. There's photographs of all the different people they're going to meet. There's a section where all the business cards are, so they can have the business cards at any point in time to call whomever. And then there's a section with all the terminology, because when you have a loss, you're going to talk about different things. What are textiles? What are contents? What is structure? What does the fire department expect of me? I have burnt bonds and money. What do I do with that? Can I take my medications? Those are all questions that all of a sudden they have in their head that they're not aware of. And so that process, and then I walk them through that whole process. So by the time we're done talking, they're usually a lot more calmer, and they're not actually looking for reassurance so much as they're saying, okay, what's our next step? How do I get to that point where I'm moving back into my house? We put everything back. We make sure you're back to whole when you move back in. And that when you walk in, you don't remember that fire. You don't see the effects from that fire. Only the good effects in that your house is all put back together.
First response, restoring your world. Your first response when disaster strikes.